Yo, morning guys. This is Ahn Rho Project. Welcome back to the psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project and so on and so forth. I'm going to do a solve 9 override. It means it's a rule to break all other rules. A rule to break all other rules. Sorry, a system principle to free myself from the system and just be completely and purely practical. Get whatever needs done. So we're going to skip an introduction. If you want an introduction, just check out the previous live stream in the past. In this morning's live stream, we'll have it. So with that being said, take a look on screen. What you see is what you get. We have a lot of food, lots of food, gifts, relationships, storytelling, business, the project itself, philosophy, education, social media, kind of like keeping in touch with direct relatives and so on and so forth. So just a lot of stuff. And let's get started with maybe I'm going to try to figure out which one of these collages. It's always a guessing game at the beginning. Which one do you think is going to pop out the biggest? It seems like the bottom left. Is it the bottom left? Yeah, it's the bottom left. So we'll start off there. So you see there's like eggplant and like white carrots and stuff like that at the very top. You see some you pick apples as well. Oh shoot, I didn't write down the brand. I gotta write down the brand in the Excel spreadsheet later on. We also have some Alferi apple crisp pie. We also have the very bottom some gift bags, Juzana. So all this stuff is, stuff that my biological guardians receive from picking at a farm. And so we're going to talk about this kind of stuff. I always have some spaghetti as well. And so I'm going to take some of that food, those fruits, fresh fruits and vegetables, I'm going to stuff into that bag and give it to my business partner. We also have spaghetti I ate today, so class 2 items for the most part. In addition to that, obviously, we have after this, just a continuation. You can see seems like the bottom right, the spaghetti at the very top with Parmesan cheese. We'll touch upon that in a second. We have in the middle some philosophy, and below that a lot of system dynamics. So we'll talk about the hierarchy of the solve. So the role that the solve, the system override solve 9.0 that you heard about at the beginning. That's version 9, but all the previous versions starting from version 0.5 straight up, that touches upon the importance of it and importance of structure and hierarchy and what it is with respect to the project. We're trying to derive what it means to the project, these overrides, and how useful they are. Behind that, we have all this kind of stuff. I know it's very abstract, and you will get to it, right? We're down here. We have a lot of pasta. We have more of the pasta, more apples. The you pick apples, like I said, to give away to my business partner, and these are class 2 items once again from my domestic guardian. Some insecurity attached to it, so that's sort of overcome now at this point. We have some things to do with obviously keeping in touch with my direct relatives and cousins, which you see on the left-hand panel right there. So yeah, that's some messaging and so on and so forth. So we'll get to that in a second. And finally, last but not least, very top right, once again, just more spaghetti, more apples, more of the Parmesan cheese, and class 2. So it's all photography, like I said. We'll begin with phase 2 in segments 4 and 5 as usual. We have the recordings. So you can see right here, audio recordings. I just want to say there's a lot of conversation here today between me and my I would say for the most part, almost completely healed relationships and the damage for 2 narcissistic, incredibly narcissistic at one point, guardians, my caregivers. So I had conversations with them, and obviously things are doing much better now. In terms of, we were just talking a lot about, one of my cousins and how she's trying to reach out to me and the conditions that kind of favored that, and some conversations I had with other people. Also direct conversations regarding the health of my biological mother. So when it comes to her, she's experienced a lot of problems. Also a little bit about my business partner who's in health and research and nutrition. Get her in touch with that. Also, we talked a little bit about the farm-picked vegetables and the apple pie, and as well as the so on and so forth, the spaghetti. So there's just a lot of stuff that we talked about between me and my guardians today. It's something very different from usual. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that, right? We've done kind of that kind of relationships. That's media assets also too, by the way. So segment 4, media assets. You should also pay attention to the title, or I should pay attention to the title, and it says something along the lines of, the residency, which you see in the backdrop, followed by gift items, right? Sci Biz, so that's that. Cellular research, nutrition, business, like I said, my business partner. Get in touch with her. And that's what I'm going to talk about right now too. So we have the live stream, we have the voice recordings, but we also have a little bit of media assets on the side here having to do with, like I said, relationships, right? So right here, you can see, I'm going to pull it to the middle. You can see WhatsApp and newsfeed, Facebook and WhatsApp. I just want to point out that there's, I replied to one of my godmothers from a volunteering hospital. So at a time when I completely fell off, both of my guardians for the past 3 decades, she was always there for me. But I also want to mention a critical highlight for the WhatsApp, for the Facebook thing. I'm receiving some Facebook messages from my classmate from high school, as well as from my maternal side of cousins, and they're kind of just calling me out right now. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but I don't know. Could be something good, could be something bad. I've been a bit of an asshole recently, which sucks, you know. I just want to make it up to them somehow. So maybe it has something to do with that, or maybe they're just calling me to see if we can go eat dinner again. I don't know. So that's that. I'll have to get back to them, and hopefully they're doing well. So that's relationships, and segment 5 and segment 4, relationships and media assets. So okay, let's go down. I think there's a little bit more to do with relationships, but we'll pass by that. Dive into segment 6, Stoic reflections. Once again, copyright notice, not my shit, not my stuff. Check it on Instagram. This guy is amazing. I love it because Stoicism is like a figurative father for me for most of my life, and I kind of had to derive that on my own, these principles. But many of the things I didn't do very well, so here it is. If you only read the books that everyone else is reading, you can only think what everyone else is thinking. You get the main point here by, it looks like a Japanese Haruki Murakami. So very, very similar saying to saying, you know, if you just do what everyone else does, you'll think like everyone else, and you'll be just like everyone else, and you won't be able to think outside the box, which is a key highlight when it comes to Stoicism, being able to be satisfied with yourself. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body, by Seneca. Very straightforward. Once again, pursuing voluntary challenges, one of the comments down here says, so just a little bit credit to him. So, you know, voluntarily pursuing challenges so that you can strengthen your character in terms of responsibility, discipline, and being able to die without regrets no matter what happens. Okay, so moving on. Okay, we have some more, I guess, digital assets here. So here's something has to do, we're kind of jumping back and forth between segment 5 here, relationships up here. So hey Kay, I was just showing the products that you gave my biological mother. How much was the total cost? I'll prepare the cash payment when we see each other to pick up the auto order products next month. And so that's just that, having to do with once again getting in touch with my business partner. I missed that for a moment. So we'll get to something really important right now before we cover the photographs. There's a lot of photographs you already saw. We want to cover them individually. You know what? It sounds pretty important. We'll do the photographs first. So, and then we'll get to the important stuff. So, having to do with residency. So Parmesan cheese, you see here, both sides, 100% by Kraft brand. Sprinkled over this spaghetti meatballs, fish ball and spaghetti meatballs. Sounds kind of odd. Sounds like that kind of Guangdong kind of, you know, it's like seafood mixed with it's like Chinese and Italian mixed together. Fish balls plus meatballs, spaghetti, pasta. Right? Well, what is that? What it is because one of my guardians has tried to commit it to not eating beef. So that's why there are fish balls in there. I know it sounds weird. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's a class 2 item. I ate a bit of that. I ate like 2 serving portions. Great sauce, great pasta, great fish balls, meatballs, as well as the ground beef and basil and ground peppers. So it's very nice, showing appreciation, gratitude for them as well. So not just my domestic guardians. Now we're going to gift my business partner KM, who's helping with my biological mother's ailment, disease, chronic illness, very complicated affair. So we have some eggplant here, farm picked from, like I said, you pick those apples as well as eggplant. I put inside this Usana Health Science bag, which I receive usually on monthly auto orders anyways. So, and then you have a close-up of the apples here. I'm going to eat probably 1 or 2 of these myself just to see what it tastes like. It's a Royal Gala apple. I'm kind of swifting by many of these photos right now. So here's a reverse photograph of the red and green, and you see the eggplants once again. So I'm going to gift many of these over to my my business partner KM. So once again, eggplants, vegetables, so on and so forth. We also have up here at the very top left-hand corner the pasta with ground beef, tomatoes, fish balls on a plate, again, one photograph at a time. Aerial view, trying to get the shadow away, but I didn't do a really great job of that. It doesn't really matter. This one's much better, but it's a bit blurry. The resolution, it's okay. Something you can post onto Yelp or whatever. And then here at the very back of the Parmesan cheese and nutritional facts and so on and so forth. Very heavy on the sodium. I ate way too much cheese over there, but that's what it is. It is what it is. And here's the paper Usana bags, recyclable paper Usana bags that they have. So when it was empty, as well as now when it's full with the product, the gifts, that I intend on giving over to my my business partner. Now, in addition to that, I also want to give her these apple pies here. So these are the Country Apple Store brand. No, that's not the brand. Apple Crisp. So premium apple crisp by the Alfieri family. Alfieri, Italian, I'm assuming Alfieri and Sons. Right there, apple crisp. And this is the one with sugar inside, but they have one that's not sugar. Here's the ingredients, fresh fruit, and so on and so forth. Once again, here are the vegetables when they were inside the bag, in no frills bag when they were picked by my domestic garden. So eggplant, you see tomatoes, so on and so forth. Very colorful selection. And here are the apples when they were inside the U-pick bag. And there's a whole entire, that's a large ass bag right there. So you can see they have all different types, Jonah Gold, McIntosh, and stuff like that. So it's just all this fruit, all these photographs, and even the pasta up close before I poured the sauce on it. So really nice close-up photographs. Here's an aerial angle view, and then apples themselves. So we're done the photographs, and I can stash it away onto the laptop. Alright, so let's get back to, first of all, we already covered the collage. Here's a collage of all the spaghetti, pie, apple pie, Usana bag, Parmesan cheese, as well as pasta. So all that kind of stuff. Once again, you can see it. And there's a little bit of blurb down there having to do with other things. And then again, the apple at the top. Alright, so all the photographs, half of these I haven't shown you, but it doesn't really matter. What's most important now, we just dive right to, we got about 2.5 minutes left. So a lot to get through. We're not going to get through everything, and that's okay. We're not going to have to do so much. So first of all, on the left hand side, I'm just do a quick synopsis. That's a timeline of my kind of CPTSD experiences over the collective 3 decades or 30 years. So I have a Gantt chart, inspiration, and trying planning it out. I can see that there's like the first 20 years versus first 20 years, then there was 4 years, and then there's 4 years, so I'm chunking it off into the first 2 decades, then 4 and 4 after exploration, and then like at the workplace I found family, and then I chunked that 4 years into 1. So 4 years, and each year was different from me trying to get to a point where I could help other people, then actually developing myself further so that I could actually apply and try to set a role model example. Then the next year was something else where I actually trying to figure it out, some sort of way to teach them, and was trying to get to the next level and actually not just show by as an example, but also let them listen in and hear and kind of coach, and then eventually allowing them to kind of grow into it. So you can see all this kind of Gantt chart, kind of planning things out, and then the traumatic experience between, I guess, my domestic gardens and narcissistic abuse and all that kind of garbage and financial ruin. 4 months, 3 months, 5 months. So we're just planning it out, all that kind of stuff. That was a good way. That was to, learning a lot of. That was kind of my own idea there, but it was. I'm pretty sure other therapists have come up with kind of stuff. There's a more formal one for sure. Here we have all these thoughts I brought down, having to do with, again, stand, walk, don't think, goals fused to prioritize, wants, needs mixed, failure, prompt, revisit. These are the kind of the steps of basically reorienting and reorganizing the room in the backdrop, which I mentioned, I have to mention this morning. I was going to try and dust everything, but I didn't get it done, so there's some garbage here I got to throw away. Maybe I want to cover in this stream, maybe I'll do it tomorrow morning, I don't know. But the fact is, I have only 30 seconds left, so I'm going to just continue here. It says with the live stream, right? Thoughts on the notepad, right? Getting things down. Goals, I was fused. I was mapping down my thoughts and processing from the reason why I wasn't able to organize everything together oh, we don't have enough time. This is so sad. You know what? I'll end the live stream. We'll have to do this tomorrow morning, and that's okay. So I'll see you tomorrow then. And actually, I have an appointment tomorrow with my cousin, so we'll see what happens. This is Ahn Rho.